Welcome to the longest running quiz show in the area. Categories. High school students compete to answer questions on topics from art to science, history to current events. And now, here's your categories host, John Bartell.
Hi, welcome to Categories. Today we're bringing you a great inter-district matchup between the Shawnee Mission West Vikings, coached by Pam Creed, versus the Blue Valley Southwest Timberwolves, coached by Caitlin Donahue. Let's go ahead and meet our contestants. First, from Shawnee Mission West.
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm a junior.
I'm Jonathan. I'm a junior.
I'm Dane. I'm a junior.
I'm Coleman. I'm a senior.
I'm Eric, and I'm a senior.
And our contestants from Southwest.
I'm Claire. I'm a senior.
I'm Ferris. I'm a junior.
I'm John. I'm a junior.
I'm Josette. I'm a junior.
I'm Kate, and I'm a senior.
All right, fantastic, great introductions. And we're getting ready for our first round here on Categories, in which we will take turns answering questions. If a team answers correctly, of course, they earn a point for their squad. If they answer incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal that same category. We did a coin toss before we started recording. It was won by the Vikings. So Shawnee Mission West, here is the first category. It is U.S. geography. What state is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean, as well as Connecticut and Massachusetts? Jonathan.
Rhode Island.
It is Rhode Island. Over to you, Timberwolves. Vocabulary, specifically vocabulary on government and economics. According to William Sapphire's Political Dictionary, it was an 18th century British term for a bankrupt businessman. By 1830, it was used for bankrupt politicians, and by 1920, it was modernized to describe an outgoing administration. What is this term? Time. Vikings, chance to steal this government and economics vocabulary question. According to William Sapphire's Political Dictionary, it was an 18th century British term for a bankrupt businessman. By 1830, it was used for bankrupt politicians, and by 1920, it was modernized to describe an outgoing administration. What is this term? Dane?
Lame duck.
It is lame duck. West, staying with you. Spelling is the category. A curmudgeon is a gruff, blunt person. How do you spell curmudgeon? Jonathan?
C-U-R-M-U-D-G-E-O-N.
That is correct. Back over to you, Timberwolves. Sports and fitness is your category. Pushing against a wall is an example of this kind of exercise, in which the muscles tighten without movement. Time on that. Vikings, chance to steal this sports and fitness question. Pushing against a wall is an example of this kind of exercise, in which the muscles tighten without movement. Name it. Sean?
Stretching.
It's not stretching. It's an isometric exercise. Vikings, we are staying with you. Current events is the category. A caravan of over 4,000 migrants recently reached Mexico and are determined to continue to the U.S. border. From what country are most? Coleman?
Honduras.
Honduras is correct. Back to you, Southwest, U.S. geography. Into which body of water does the Mississippi River empty into? John?
The Gulf of Mexico.
It is the Gulf of Mexico. Vikings, coming back to you, literature. In Call of the Wild, in what state had Buck lived before he was stolen and pressed into service as a sled dog in the Klondike, in the story by Jack London? Coleman?
Washington.
It is not Washington. Southwest, you have a chance to steal this literature category. In the book, The Call of the Wild, in what state had Buck lived before he was stolen and pressed into service as a sled dog in the Klondike, in this story by Jack London? Claire?
Alaska?
It is not Alaska. It's California. California. We are staying with you, Southwest, with general knowledge. Early versions were prepared by boiling animal fats with chunks of charred wood and ashes. This mixture of alkali and fats were boiled together produces glycerin and fatty acids, which combine to form what common household product? Time. Vikings, chance to steal this general knowledge question. Early versions were prepared by boiling animal fats with chunk of charred wood and ashes. This mixture of alkali and fats, when boiled together, produces glycerin and fatty acids, which combine to form what common household product? Coleman?
Candles.
It's not candles, it's soap. Soap. Vikings, you are staying with this next category, or we're staying with you for this next category. Vocabulary is the category. What word describes the movement of blood or of magazines? Eric.
Circulation.
It is circulation. Back to you, Timberwolves. World history, specifically places in world history. Louis XIV built a beautiful and very expensive palace, which hurt the French economy. Where was this palace situated? Claire?
Versailles.
Versailles, very good. Back to you, Vikings, general knowledge for you. More people go to the doctor for what reason than any other? Time. Timberwolves, chance to steal this general knowledge question. More people go to the doctor for what reason than any other? Kate?
Smoking.
It's not smoking. They go for a checkup. Just for a checkup. Timberwolves, we are staying with you. The category is science, specifically biology. What digestive organ is well developed in grass-eating herbivores, but is only vestigial in humans? Ferris?
The intestines.
It is not the intestines. Vikings, chance to steal this science biology question. Which digestive organ is well developed in grass-eating herbivores, but is only vestigial in humans? Coleman.
The pancreas.
It's not the pancreas, it's the appendix. The appendix. West, coming back to you, world history is the category. Name the Soviet leader who urged coexistence with the West and was ousted due to the Cuban Missile Crisis and failure of agricultural reforms. Time. Southwest, chance to steal this world history category. Name the Soviet leader who urged coexistence with the West and was ousted due to the Cuban Missile Crisis and failure of agricultural reforms. Claire?
Khrushchev.
It is Khrushchev. Nice job. Staying with you, Timberwolves, spelling is the category. How do you spell stubbornness? Kate?
STUBBORNESS.
Sorry, cannot accept that. Vikings, chance to steal this spelling question. How do you spell stubbornness? Eric?
STUBBORNNESS.
That is correct. 2 N's in that. Vikings, once again staying with you, science is the category. What is the temperature scale which does not have negative numbers? Coleman.
Kelvin.
It is Kelvin. Southwest, current events is your category. Hundreds of thousands of people in London joined the People's Vote March to protest against what? Kate?
Brexit.
Brexit, nice job. Back to you, Vikings. Fine arts, specifically music. How many complete symphonies did Beethoven compose? Jonathan?
9.
It is 9. Nice job. Southwest, literature is your category. Colonel Race, Miss R.A. Denis Oliver, Tommy and Tuppence Beresford, and Jane Marple. All of these detectives were created by what well-known English author? Time on that. Vikings, chance to steal this literature question. Colonel Race, Mrs. I'm going to butcher this name again, Ariadne Oliver, Tommy and Tuppence Beresford, and Jane Marple. All of these detectives were created by what well-known English author? Dane?
Dickens.
It's not Dickens. Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie. Vikings, you get the next category. It is math. The square root of 72 is equal to 6 times the square root of what? Time. Southwest, chance to steal this math category. The square root of 72 is equal to 6 times the square root of what? John?
7.
I'm sorry, it's 2. 2. Southwest, we are staying with you. Vocabulary, it's multiple choice. The spread of an idea from one part of the world to another is called external migration, integration, industrialization, or cultural diffusion. Claire?
Cultural diffusion.
That's correct. Coming back to you, Vikings. U.S. government and law is the category. What's the constitutional standard of evidence required for a search warrant? Coleman?
Reasonable.
I cannot accept reasonable. Timberwolves, chance to steal this U.S. government and law question. What's the constitutional standard of evidence required for a search warrant? Kate?
Probable.
Probable. Yep, probable cause. Timberwolves, staying with you. Fine arts is the category. What type of performers enter the annual Van Cliburn International Competition? Ferris?
Dancers.
It is not dancers. Vikings, chance to steal this fine arts question. What type of performers enter the annual Van Cliburn International Competition? Eric?
Jazz musicians.
It is not jazz musicians, it's pianists. Pianists. Vikings, you do get the next question. Sports is the category. What sport boasts championship matches in freestyle and Greco-Roman competition? Dane?
Wrestling.
It is wrestling. Timberwolves, math and terminology. Given any quadratic equation, the value of b squared minus 4ac, which will reveal the nature of its roots, is called by what mathematical term? Josette?
Determinate.
Excuse me?
The determinate.
I'm sorry, I cannot accept that. Vikings, chance to steal this math terminology question. Given any quadratic equation, the value of b squared minus 4ac, which will reveal the nature of its roots, is called by what mathematical term? Coleman?
Quadratic equation.
Cannot accept that. We're looking for discriminant. Discriminant is the answer we're looking for. Vikings, we are staying with you. U.S. history is the category. During the decades following the Civil War, frontier villages became flourishing cities when touched by the magic wand of one kind of business, while those that were bypassed often withered into ghost towns. What was this industry? Dane?
Railroads.
It is railroads. Oh. We don't have a siren, but we do have a timekeeper telling me that the first half has come to an end. So we have completed our first half, and Shawnee Mission West has a lead of 10 to Blue Valley Southwest 6. At this part of our program, we are going to go to a member of each team as they will give us a campus update. And I believe, Sean, you are giving us the update for Shawnee Mission West. So what is happening with the Vikings?
Well, our varsity soccer team just won regionals, and our robotics team just won 7th in state, and our theater program is getting ready for the musical Legally Blonde, which they'll be performing on November 14th, November 16th, and November 17th.
All right. Okay, and Claire, you're giving us the update for Southwest. So what's happening with the Timberwolves?
We're about to send our boys soccer team off to state. We just wrapped up one of our rap musicals and are getting ready for a performance of The Seagull. And we're getting ready to send off our music department to regional performance auditions.
Okay. Very good. All right, good deal. Great things happening at both schools as expected. So as we head into our second round, the lightning round here on categories, questions will be placed on the floor for either team to answer. If a team responds correctly, they earn a point for their team. If they answer incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal. As tradition here on categories, we will start with our look and listen question, in which we will display on a monitor here in the studio for our contestants a video clue, and it also could be an audio clue. And with, let me just have this reminder to you guys, when someone rings in, we cannot rewind the tape. We have to stop it at that point. And so it does, once I'm finished reading the question, you may ring in at any time. And then lastly, the question is worth 2 points. So here we go. Here's our look and listen question. Name the U.S. president with this first term agenda.
In addition to international and internal threats to the nation's stability, he was tasked with lowering national debt, establishing a viable banking system, appointing the Supreme Court.
Claire?
Thomas Jefferson.
It is not Thomas Jefferson. Vikings, chance to steal. Coleman?
John Adams.
Not John Adams. George Washington. George Washington. Both really good guesses. All right, as we continue here in the lightning round, questions will be placed on the floor for either team to answer. So here we go, both teams. The first category in the lightning round is science, geology. This geological term comes from the Latin word meaning water carrier. It describes a rock layer that is sufficiently permeable to conduct and yield groundwater. Such a layer is known as what? Dane?
Sheetrock.
It is not sheetrock. Timberwolves, chance to steal this science geology question. This geological term comes from the Latin word meaning water carrier. It describes a rock layer that is sufficiently permeable to conduct and yield groundwater. Such a layer is known as what? It's an aquifer. An aquifer. Both teams, film is the category. What was the central theme of the movie The Birth of a Nation? Dane?
It was the slave revolt in...
I'm sorry, I cannot accept that. I cannot accept that. Timberwolves, you have a chance to steal this film category. What is the central theme of the movie Birth of a Nation? Claire?
White supremacy.
No, I cannot accept that either. It was Reconstruction after the Civil War. Reconstruction. Both teams, next category is U.S. government. According to one section of the War Powers Act, within how many hours must the president inform Congress if the U.S. forces are sent to a hostile area without a declaration of war? How many hours? Claire?
21.
It is not 21. Vikings, chance to steal this U.S. government question. According to one section of the War Powers Act, within how many hours must the president inform Congress if U.S. forces are sent to a hostile area without a declaration of war? Sean?
48 hours.
It is 48 hours. Both teams, geography, specifically resources is the category. Texas is the leader of oil production in the United States. What province leads oil production in Canada? Coleman?
Yukon.
It is not Yukon. Timberwolves, chance to steal this geography resources question. Texas is the leader of oil production in the United States. What province leads the oil production in Canada? Ferris?
Alberta.
It is Alberta. U.S. history, specifically military history. In what state was Jefferson Davis captured after the fall of the Confederacy? Coleman?
Georgia.
It was Georgia. At this time in our lightning round, we are going with a new category this year called the Theme Team Huddle. The Theme Team Huddle is a two-question category in which both teams can confer on their answers. The key is, though, we have to have the team captain ring in, and the first team captain to do so will get the opportunity to answer both questions. This is an all or nothing proposition. If the first team rings in and misses one or both questions, the other team will get a chance to steal the category. If they get both questions correct, they earn 2 points. All right, here's our team theme huddle category. It is science. Science. First question. Give me the chemical formula for calcium chloride. Question 2. Which state of matter is the poorest conductor of heat? Again, both questions. Give me the chemical formula for calcium chloride. Question 2. Which state of matter is the poorest conductor of heat? Dane?
For the first question, CaCl2, and for the second question, gas.
Those are both correct, and 2 points awarded to the Vikings. Okay, here we go. Continuing on with our lightning round. The next question for both teams is presidential history. He was the last president of the United States who was neither a Republican nor a Democrat? Ferris.
John Adams.
I'm sorry, cannot accept that. Vikings, chance to steal this presidential history question. He was the last president of the United States who was neither a Republican nor a Democrat. Name him. Jonathan.
Jackson.
Not Jackson. Fillmore. Millard Fillmore. Literature for both teams. In the novel, A Tale of Two Cities, Madame Defarge is in charge of keeping the register, which is a list of people to be executed during the French Revolution. What was the register made of? Sean?
Paper.
It's not paper. Timberwolves, chance to steal this literature question. In the novel, A Tale of Two Cities, Madame Defarge is in charge of keeping the register. It's a list of people who to be executed during the French Revolution. What was the register made of? It was made of thread. She knitted the list. We're going with both teams again. Both teams. Next category is grammar, punctuation. What punctuation is used to indicate a quotation within a quotation? John.
An apostrophe?
Yes, single quote. Yep. Both teams. World geography. On what continent is the Victoria Desert located? Claire?
Africa.
It's not Africa. Vikings, chance to steal this world geography question. On what continent is the Victoria Desert located? Jonathan?
Australia.
It is Australia. Both teams, fine arts, opera is the category. Based on a French novel by Henri Mercier, its title refers to the carefree life that artists lead. Claire?
La Vie Bohème.
Very good. General knowledge for both teams. First celebrated on June 19th, 1910, what U.S. holiday is observed on the third Sunday in June of each year? Eric.
Flag Day?
It's not Flag Day. Timberwolves, chance to steal this general knowledge question. First celebrated on June 19th, 1910, what U.S. holiday is observed on the third Sunday in June of each year? John.
Father's Day?
It is Father's Day. I think your dad will appreciate that answer. Geography, specifically flags for both teams. What are the two major colors in the Spanish flag? Ferris.
Red and yellow.
Red and yellow, very good. Next category for both teams. U.S. government, the 16th Amendment to the Constitution deals with income taxes, but the 24th deals with what other kind of taxes? Coleman.
Poll taxes.
Poll taxes, very good. Next category for both teams is sports, baseball. Ironically, what Canadian baseball club entered the American League the same year as the Seattle Mariners? Eric?
The Expos?
It is not the Expos. Timberwolves, you have a chance to steal this baseball category. Ironically, what Canadian baseball club entered the American League the same year as the Seattle Mariners? Ferris.
The Blue Jays.
It is the Blue Jays. Fine arts, music for both teams. Name the composer of this work, Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. Claire?
Tchaikovsky.
Tchaikovsky, very good. Narrowed the gap a little bit here. Shawnee Mission West 16, Southwest 13. Science, biology for both teams. What is the name for any cell attacked by a virus? John?
A host?
It is a host. Military history for both teams. In the English Civil War, what was the other name the Royalists were called? Claire?
The Tories.
I cannot accept the Tories. Vikings, chance to steal this military history question. In the English Civil War, what was the other name the Royalists were called? Sean?
Loyalist.
It is not Loyalist. Cavaliers. They were Cavaliers. Fine arts, cinema. Name the Jerome Kern tune sung by Paul Robeson in the 1936 film Showboat. Coleman?
Singing in the Rain.
It is not Singing in the Rain. Timberwolves, chance to steal this Fine Arts Cinema category. Name the Jerome Kern tune sung by Paul Robeson in the 1936 film Showboat. It is Old Man River. Old Man River. That siren does denote the end of our game and our second round, with Shawnee Mission West coming out on top with a score of 16 to Blue Valley Southwest 14. Please join us again next time here on Categories, as we will continue to bring you the best and brightest minds of high school students all throughout Johnson County.